and so on and so forth, and found this person guilty and awarded of Anthony Weber $3.8 million. Now, I can't bring him back, but what it will do is set policy on the sheriff department, because at this particular time they don't wear video cameras, and of course they profile a lot of people in the communities, and so on and so forth. So hopefully there'll be some policy change and some things they can look at going forward in that case, because I know the family of Anthony Weber will never give up, in the fight for justice. So definitely check out that footage, and definitely look at the footage of Nipsey Hussle. And there is some issues growing up since the handshakes that's been given in the Nipsey Hussle's passing, and there's definitely a division going on in every hood, good versus evil. Now, in your heart, it'll tell you which side to be on. I don't care who you are. If you're a cop, you should speak out when officers do something. If you're a gang member, you should definitely, separate from those who are doing something wrong. If you're Muslim, Mason, in any organization where there's an individual who doesn't understand the right versus evil or good versus evil, everybody must stand on the side that God has chosen them to be. So
yeah, this is
a homicide, 84th and Western.
Black Light. Another Black Light. Co-signing this brother.
We here with Sody. Go ahead, bro. You got a message.
Look, man, this is sad, homie. This is not called gang banging at all. When you coming around, you shooting innocent people. These people that y'all aiming y'all guns at, they don't bang. Stop this shit. Stop the bullshit, homie. This a real one telling you, my nigga. Y'all ain't shooting no A-trains. Y'all shooting innocent people, black people that ain't got nothing to do with gang banging, homie. I'm baby, so. It's like, fuck Black Lives Matter. The kids' lives matter, homie. That's what's important, homie. That's what you gotta keep aware of.
So y'all heard the call, y'all yeah.
To the G-code.
Yeah, stick to the G-code. So y'all heard the call, y'all out here. Y'all coming from the NIF thing. I mean, what they saying in the streets?
I ain't even in the streets at night like this, but
yeah,
when this bullshit going on, niggas is trying to stop the ceasefire thing we got going on.
Yes, sir.
So I know what's going on. Everybody mad from both sides.
Right.
But we still gotta keep continuing on what we got going on, man.
Hey,
shit like this ain't gonna get it.
So it's your boy Mason Knight 333. I'm on Raymond Ave and 46. Well, earlier, just around 8 p.m., there was a shooting call. LAPD responding here at this park, Budlong Park to be exact. Well, apparently somebody came by and decided to take shots at this, location as well as the park. There were people both at the location and at the park, and hit a 5-year-old little girl, wounding 3 others. So altogether, it's a total of 3 victims and 1 child. Now, right now, one of the older victims are critical and probably in surgery right now. We're praying.
Black Light. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard for y'all to believe that the hidden hand caused this, because you say, well, black people, got choices, make choices to want to act like this. True, you true. It's true. But we have been conditioned with this type of behavior. If you go back into our history, back to the days before we encountered the Caucasian, some of us didn't even know the Caucasian existed. You got to ask yourself, was it that much bloodshed back then? Was people, whatever type of dwellings we were living in, huts, tents, was people breaking in, killing you for a bag of crack? No, because if you knew back in those days, you knew what the plant, what the coca leaf looked like. You knew what the effects it had on you, and you knew what generally it was used for. And it wasn't a bunch of crackheads running around, or cokeheads, or heroin addicts. They had those plants back then, but there wasn't nobody junkies and breaking in the houses or tents or wood cabins or whatever we lived in. You know, we didn't even have jails. Did you ever hear of Indians having stockades of jail or concentration camps? Did they have it over in Africa? And even in the jungle, they didn't have no, the brothers was living out there in the jungle, in villages. Did they have bars on their doors? Did they have police? They had elders and chiefs that took care of business, that kept the order, the law and order. We wasn't savages. Right now, today, all this bloodshed, we adopted that type of bloodshed from the conquerors that came over here, and they all over the world now called the Caucasian. They trying to start a war with Venezuela now, Iran, trying to tell them people who not to help. They telling them they can't help the Syrians. These people 1,000 miles away, they can't say they can't help the Syrians, but yet and still, this government send our tax dollars and monies over to Israel. And that's not Israel's, that's not these Caucasian, European, so-called Jews' homeland. They was migrating over there. Now, everybody over there that's black, they kicking out. And y'all ain't peeping that, man. I mean, the reason why we ain't peeping that because they give up decoys like Young Pharaoh, Polite. That's their job. We concentrate on stuff like Young Pharaoh, what he's talking about with the nation. Now we doing a lot of infighting. Most of all this started from the house of consciousness. The beefs that they had over there, different ideologies and different philosophies. They wasn't debating those philosophies. They was arguing, and then after arguing, they started wanting to kill each other. That was a decoy. A hell of a decoy for us to really don't think about our future, really. We scared of each other now. We fighting each other. They won't let us expand. They don't want us to expand. You say, well, what about Oprah and them? They rich. Them is also decoys. They what you call window dressing. You know, they want you to say, well, you could be like me if you really try hard enough. Nah, man, they hand pick, you know, and they got all you going to see them because your personality worshiping their personality.
And also they're small in numbers, meaning 1/10. So there's an attempt to create a kind of protection to prevent genetic annihilation. That is, if the ones that don't have it mix with those that do have it, then you're going to lose that population of that 1/10. It's going to get less and less and less. So rules and laws are made to prevent genetic annihilation of that people that call themselves, white and so on, Caucasian people. Does that answer your question?
Well, yeah, it does in a way, but I wondered of people, Jackson, who did a change in his pigment.
Yes.
What kind
Okay,
of
I
harm are they
understand.
doing?
I
Because
understand.
all over Africa, people are using skin creams to
Right.
lighten themselves.
Okay.
This is
I get back to the point now. I understand what you're asking. That these, because of the domination of racism and white supremacy by a group of people who made it so, that kind of psychosocial concept has permeated the entire globe, that one needs to be without a pigment, white. And so that shows that kind of internalization has occurred throughout the world. So that's a strong force that's generated by the people that are ruling, that are in charge.
So see, this is psychological warfare that's being psychological, spiritual warfare that's being thrust upon the black man and black woman, black, brown. And see, when I say brown, you really black too, because you got pigmentation, or you got melanin that's kin to, we all kin to each other as far as that melanin is concerned, except the Caucasian. Now, in the ocean, you got schools of fish that swim together. You got white bass, you got catfish, you got different kind of fish, but they swim together. You got birds, all kind of birds, sparrows, robins, they fly together. I'm talking about the robins fly with the robins, the sparrows fly with the sparrows. They procreate their own kind. There's only two types of people on the planet. Black people and white people or Caucasian people. The original people or the Caucasian people. You figure it out.